of all, thank you again for inviting us here to the Civic Association. As always, anytime there's any zoning matter cases, first thing we always do is contact the district council person. In this case, we contacted Councilwoman Sanchez, and we've been in touch, of course, with your zoning chairman, Pete Speckos. The case I'm about to explain to you was originally listed for March 16th before the Zoning Board of Adjustment. At that time, we agreed to present the case to the Zoning Board of Adjustment. We asked them to hold it under advisement until they hear back from your Civic Association. Once again, my name is Tom Citro. I'm going to leave some cards on the table. Should I not answer all your questions tonight, feel free to give me a call anytime in the office. The application that's pending before you is 1845 Wakeling Street. The property's been vacant for sale. It's on the corner of Wakeling and Valley. I'm going to walk around. As I walk around, I'll do some talking and pass out some information on the property. So if you just take a look at it, and of course pass it to your neighbor, he or she become familiar with it. It's a one-story freestanding garage that it was built in 1945, as you can see. It's 1,500 square feet, consisting of 3 bays. That the problem is it's currently zoned R9. R9 is residential single-family dwellings. And as you can see by the photos in which we introduced and the multiple listing service, that's how this came about. It was owned by the Compton family and built in 1945. Many of you are probably more familiar with this property than I am. It was a 3-bay garage. At one time they did sell gas. They haven't sold gas according to the City of Philadelphia weights and measures since 1975. The property's been vacant for sale for more than 3 years. Once the property's vacant for sale for more than 3 years, it loses its current zoning classification. But in this case, the City of Philadelphia has earmarked on the zoning refusal, which I'll pass out, had no history of the property. And it's very common. I mean, you got to remember, the City of Philadelphia has hundreds of thousands of commercial properties in the City of Philadelphia, and it's not uncommon for them not to have a history on a particular property. So once again, there's no history listed on the bottom of the zoning refusal other than no record on file. So what the obligation of us to our client is to prove to the city that this property has been used as commercial use, in this case automotive repair, which we can track back to 1945 when it was built, and other multiple listing services through the years. Like I said, the property is owned by Mr. and Mrs. Compton. Mr. Compton passed away. It's in the estate of Grace Compton. The property's for sale and has been sold. Filed a zoning application, was provided then with what's called a zoning refusal notice, which will explain that this type of use, automotive repair, is minor auto body. No spray paint, no paint booth is not permitted in the district. You can see that when the property was built, it was built with one thing in mind: automotive repair. The building is 1,500 square feet, 3 bays, 3 lifts. The current buyer and owner of record is a gentleman by the name of Dave Farber. Dave currently owns and operates Marshall Auto Sales at 6,000 Old York Road for the past 20 years. Dave also owns the immediate next door property on Marshall Street, or on Wakeling Street, 1847. Dave also owns. So that's how we discovered this property. He owns 1847. He's seen the automotive garage was for sale, and that's when he purchased it. The building is 25 feet in height. It was built in 1945. The hours of operation in which Dave's proposing to operate it himself will be a maximum of 3 employees for 3 bays. Hours will be 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Friday, closed Sunday, excuse me. Tires, the only tires that will be done, because I know that's a problem in the area, tires, a lot of small automotive repair companies, they do the exchange program with like Pep Boys and so forth. When you buy the tires there, you exchange the tires at the time you buy them. Oil change, there'll be a state service inspection station. No tow truck, which is very important. Even though this is zoned residential, we're down here on Valley Street across from, on one corner we have a bar, another corner we have a vacant building, and then we have some masonry garages to the south of that. Everyone familiar with the site?
Yes.
Okay. As you can see by the photographs and by the zoning refusals which were introduced, this property is zoned residential. At no time was it ever used for a single-family dwelling. We're just re-registering a use that the City of Philadelphia does not have on their radar, so to speak. Owner-operated, limited hours of operation, no spray paint booth, no tow truck. All work can be done inside the building. Approximate parking lot. The parking lot is not striped based on the square footage of the lot. As advertised in the MLS, you're going to fit approximately 22 cars on that lot, stacked parking. So I think there's more than adequate on-site ample parking that's accessory use to this freestanding building. With that, I'll turn it over for any Q&As.
Tom.
I have one question.
Thanks.
Okay, real quick. This is a beautiful place, it's a great setup, and I commend you for getting it. Yeah. Is that okay? What I want to know is there any way we can get it in the writing that he won't park anywhere along the street for any reason?
Absolutely. Based on the number of units, bays, and based on the size of the lots, I'd be happy to accept that as proviso because the zoning board's waiting to hear back from your board and from Mr. Speckos that what I would agree to that no work is done outside the property line.
Okay.
All cars will be stored on the property. And I said, there's storage for at least 22 vehicles on site.
Was I advised for a tire shop? No tires outside at all? If no tire stack, that's why I have a problem with that.
We can go one step further. No sale of any used tires, because that's not what it's intended to be. Yeah, so we have, we'll be happy.
What about the tanks for the ground?
Tanks have been removed since 1975, and there's a closure permit on file with L&I. That's how we know they haven't sold gas since 75 through weights and measures.
So they're going to have open-air storage of these cars as they're waiting to be worked on?
Although accessory parking in the parking lot, yes, open-air parking.
No, I'm talking about storage.
Parking of the operable vehicles
Uh-huh.
in the side, on the said premises.
While they're waiting to be worked on
That's correct.
overnight.
If a car needs to be kept overnight, absolutely. Cars are all operable, no salvage in the yard. It's not a salvage yard, no sale of used parts, no tow truck, which is the big thing here. It's an automotive service station, state inspection service station.
I have one question. Being in town watch, it is our patrol area. At the bar across the street, large number of problems with the bar. Is there going to be a fence around this, an enclosed fence to keep people from the lot damaging the cars?
Well, he is proposing surveillance. That was mentioned to the zoning board of adjustment for cameras, but there is pylons and chains around the perimeter of the property. So if someone wants to walk onto the property under the chain or over the chain, I guess we can't stop them. But no, there's no intended use to fence in the existing property. Once again,
Why they turn it down?
this earmark on the zoning refusal statement that you have, the property is zoned R9 residential. And you can see that this property was built in 1945, was never used, never occupied as a single-family dwelling, wasn't built with those intentions. It was built as an automotive garage and has maintained that use up until the Comptons passed away. The property's been vacant for sale for 3 years.
Tom, I don't know what your application said, but did you include parking in the application?
The parking is accessory to the,
Did you include it in the application? Because it's not addressed in the refusal.
apparently not, no one else.
Okay.
The parking, of course, is open-air parking or accessory parking on the lot to the said building, to the accessory automotive area. It's not private, it's not public parking, it's exclusively private parking for those vehicles that are waiting to be repaired.
Question of, it says minor body repair. To what extent? We're also concerned about having cars coming with, it's been in an accident, need body work to have, to say junk cars sitting around the neighborhood.
Every car that comes in there, and that's why I tried to make that point, and forgive me if I didn't explain it properly, operable vehicles, meaning they have to drive in. They're not being towed in, they're not being salvaged, they're not waiting for extensive body work from the insurance companies to come in. Minor automotive body repair, if someone needs like a mirror, side mirror replaced, some minor touch-up work, things of that nature. No painting, no spray painting, no paint booth. We have 3 limited bays with 3 existing lifts on the said premises.